Delia, we're so excited to have you with us today on Backstage Beautiful.
It's so great to be here.
You are unique in your own world, as many women are. And your uniqueness is that, and maybe it's not so unique, maybe more women are doing this. You are corporate by week, entrepreneur by weekend.
Absolutely.
You are corporate by day, entrepreneur by night.
Yes.
Now you have entered the field. I want to talk about your entrepreneurship. You have entered the field of being a life coach.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. What does that really mean?
Well, a life coach, in terms of how I put it, is I like to know where you are and where you're going. So I frame it as a GPS, right? And so a GPS in terms of knowing where you, when you plug in the information for a GPS, it just wants to know where you are and where you're going, right? And so it doesn't ask you, you know, where have you been and how long you've been there and what's wrong with you, right? So I'm the person that works with you to close the gap to get to your goals.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So in your work, I think you told me that you're an improvologist, or
Yes.
am I saying it correctly?
Improvologist.
I like it, improvologist. So do you work more with women or men, or a combination of both?
A combination of both, yes.
Combination of both. Okay, so now when a woman comes to you, what is her biggest fear? What is she coming to you, or do you see a commonality with the woman coming to you and saying, Delia, this is where I need to go?
A lot of times when people come to me, it's about their relationship, and usually it's the relationship that they have with themselves, and that spills over to relationships that they have with others. Like, I had a client not too long ago that came to me about her relationship with her partner. So she was speaking to me about her partner and saying that, you know, he doesn't complete his tasks at home, but when he goes to his neighbors, he completes it there, and he's never home. He's always there, and you know, they always say, you know, you're doing a good job, and we're going to refer you to so-and-so. And so I said to her, when he does do tasks at home, what do you say to him? And she was just quiet, and then she discovered that, you know what, I don't even acknowledge him. I don't acknowledge what he does. I don't say thank you, and a light bulb went off for her. And so when we dug deeper, we discovered that she really wasn't happy with herself, and was complaining and projecting onto him. And so when we dug a little bit deeper, we came up with some tools and a plan for her to see herself differently, have a different perspective for herself. And once she did that, she started liking herself more, and her relationship with herself increased. And as her relationship with herself increased, she then was able to see his gifts and be able to compliment him. And the relationship in terms of communication between the two parties, it has improved immensely.
So I want to talk about you. How do you manage your data entrepreneurship and your week? How do you fit it all in, running your own business?
Well, I make sure that I set goals, and I make sure that I take time for myself as well, because if I'm running, you know, running here and running there, and I'm not taking care of myself, then I'm not good for anybody else. So it's all about filling yourself up first.
We have to fill up our own tanks, right?
Exactly.
So what do you do to fill up your tank?
Well, I do a lot of reading, and I do a lot of walking as well, and I spend time with friends as well, in terms of going to a movie, or sometimes I, you know, like to be by myself as well, and so sometimes I just relax and do those kind of things.
So do you find that, whether it's a man or a woman, when they come to you, it's clearly about their inner self, their past, their childhood?
Yes.
Something that has suppressed them, that they're not allowed to move forward with their lives.
Exactly. And so for me, really what I want to know is where you are now, right? And the difference between life coaching and this is a common question that I get, what's the difference between therapy, counseling, and coaching? Therapy and counseling, they talk about those things in terms of, you know, what happened in the past, and what your mom didn't do or your dad didn't do, or things like that. Really what I want to know is where you are now and where you want to go, because the closer we get to your goals, the closer you live a healthier and more meaningful lifestyle. When you concentrate on what happened in the past, that's where you stay in the past.
Very interesting. And I think that we all have that inner child that we have to reclaim at some point in our lives, right?
I'm not knocking therapy or counseling. There is a place for that, for sure. Yes.
So, okay, so you go corporate by day, entrepreneur by night, and then you have to go to a party. So what we want to do is we want to transform you from your work look into a fun Delia look. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Good, let's do it. Okay, so Delia came in this work skirt today and her beautiful wool vest. But she's going to a party, so what are we gonna put her in? She said it's a fun party. So should we do red and blue? I don't know. With the red tank? No, I don't think so. I think that we are going to transition Delia into magical taupe black and cream. Delia, are you ready? And this top. And tell me when you're ready.
Oh, this is perfect. Thank you.
Delia.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's take a, wow!
I know,
That looks amazing. Okay, so take a look at yourself. You are ready to party tonight. I love the taupe. I love the taupe black cream, the leggings, the boots, but we need to give you a wow factor. Are you ready for it?
What do you have in mind?
Are you ready to jump in the deep end with
I
the wow
am,
factor?
I am.
Okay, let's do it. What do you think?
I love it. Let's see. Oh my goodness, this is fabulous.
Isn't blue and taupe amazing together?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I would never have thought of blue and taupe.
Isn't it great?
Oh my.
Okay, so you're ready to wow your party.
I am.
Are you ready?
I am.
Let's
I am.
do it.
Before we go, though, I have a gift for you, darling.
Oh, a gift. Thank you.
I do.
Do you want me to open it right
I
now?
do.
Oh, wow. What is it? I love surprises. Improvology, lifestyle
You are
coaching.
valuable by design, and that's my purpose of my practice.
I love it. Valuable by design. With Delia on Backstage Beautiful. You know, Delia, every woman was born to look and feel beautiful.
Yes.
And we're going to give you an I Am Beautiful tag.
Oh, thank you.
Hang it on your rear view mirror.
I will.
And for all of you beautiful women watching us today, if you want to be on Backstage Beautiful, email us at info@bellaballas.com.
The main concept, I guess, is the tragedy of war and why we keep repeating it. Growing up in Newfoundland, I use events that in Newfoundland's history as a means to tell my stories. World War I, and this was a battle that took place 100 years ago this year. And it's a very tragic day in the history of Newfoundland. And in the rest of the country, we celebrate July 1st as Canada Day. In Newfoundland, they celebrate Canada Day, but it doesn't start till in the afternoon. In the morning, they're mourning that particular day in their history, and it's very somber, and it's like Remembrance Day is to the rest of the country. I left Newfoundland in '79, first time, and I went back for a year, and I again left again. But I knew about this growing up, but when you're a young person, it doesn't register. And a few years ago, I went down there to do some research on another project I was interested in doing, and I happened to be there on July 1st, and it just struck me how strange it was. Like in the morning, flags are at half-mast, there's military parades, you know, people are going through all this ritual, and then in the afternoon, everything flips and it becomes a celebration. I happened to be at the Newfoundland Memorial University doing research at the Institute for Newfoundland Studies, and so I decided to, while I'm here, let's find out more about this and what all is behind it, and then it led to this project. I served for 2 years in the reserves of the Royal Newfoundland Regiment as a young person, so I have that personal connection to it. It was the 100th anniversary, so I thought this was a good time to do the project. It's also in the middle of a series of a body of work which has 6 pieces, like this is number 3. So I felt this was a good time to do this piece. These events, they may have occurred in Newfoundland, but you can relate them to other societies, other cultures throughout the world. In this particular one, where there's a lot of things that are fragile and breakable, like ceramic, like glass, like mirrors, I think it's appropriate because bodies with bullets and bombs are very fragile. By putting it on multiple walls, the reflections, you not only get the 68 survivors, but the reflection gives you a sense that the souls of the people who were killed the day before are with you. The identity disc, I just chose those as a way to represent the individual. Although there was hundreds of people, each one was an individual and they meant something to probably a lot of people, a lot of families that were thousands of miles away across an ocean. It was my way to bring the individual in there without bringing a specific individual in. Their history is interesting. When I was doing the research on it, like they're made of asbestos and put on a rope. Like asbestos in today's world is dangerous by itself, you know. Before 1916 there was just one, and then in 1916 they added a second one because they were losing track of the people that were getting killed without the 2 identity tags. But the second one was, rather than make it like the first, which was a disc, they made it in an octagon shape. And a different color, it was green. So I thought that was interesting. It reminds me when when the exhibition is set up, not to take myself too seriously. Even if the topic I'm talking about is very serious, there's still a lot I don't know, and there's a lot we all don't know, and don't get too full of who you are and that sort of thing. In all my work and all the things that I do about, the most important thing to me is human life. A disrespect and a disregard or abuse of it in any form is never a good thing, and it doesn't matter if it's Newfoundland or China or the US. Like, lives matter. They should be paramount, not war, not violence.
Take an hour just to make you feel beautiful tonight.
After the break, the Heights perform The Sweater Song. And later on, it's Old Soul Country with Kevin Roy.